Hey everybody, hope you've been enjoying the treat so far. A lot of great games out here. I'm trying to find my mic right now to make sure everything's good. Even though I was just talking to Diego on this, so excuse me, guys. I'm your host Joshua Montero. This is my host Diego to my right. Um, Diego with a new environment. I just don't think he has his lights on right now, but it looks like he's in an entirely different apartment.
Well, that's the funny part is I got injured, so I was downstairs for a while in my friend's office, and now I can walk a little bit. Like I'm walking without a boot now, and now I'm back in the original setup in my office upstairs. And now that we're spring is in full swing, nice little rhyme. Like it's 7:30 p.m. and it is just beautiful outside, so it is great. That is kind of brightened my day, literally. Jeez, I'm going crazy right now. But yeah.
Yeah, it was so windy in Michigan
Oh,
today.
true.
Like it was insane. Um, but yeah, Diego broke his ankles playing basketball. Like somebody
Yeah,
did him really dirty, so that's why he's out for
basically.
so long. But heal up, Diego.
Yeah, there.
The one benefit is you get to sit down and actually watch these NBA games. Miami and Boston is closing in on the first quarter, and Miami's up by two.
Yeah.
Um, and they had the last possession here. Jaime Haka is having the ball as we speak, but I think it should be a pretty exciting possession that's coming up. And then we'll see. Oh, he got fouled. Okay. So
Dang.
looks like it's going to be a 3 or 4 point game. Um, I don't think Celtics fans are getting free chicken this early, but it's a hope. There's been a lot of like fans getting free chicken lately.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Boban. Boban, the innovative
Oh wow.
pioneer in this. Like, what a man. What a man.
Mhm.
Purposely giving people free
That's
chicken.
so
Like,
real.
he's a man of the
Yeah.
people right here.
He
Alrighty.
is.
We're not going to waste any more time. Um, Diego's coming off a great high with the Mavs, having a clutch win against the
Jeez.
Clippers last night.
That was
So that's the
great.
first thing on our docket. Very enticing matchup. Even game one, I was really impressed with the Mavericks, even
Mhm.
though they were down by a lot in this
Yeah.
in game one, down by as much as I think they had like 30 in the first
29.
half.
Yeah, we're down by
Um,
29.
yeah,
Was
down by 29, had 30 in like the first half. It was insane. I didn't get to catch the whole game because I think I was coming back from basketball. No, coming back from driving. Actually, I was in
Mhm.
Illinois for the weekend.
Yeah.
But I mean, wow. I mean, the way they cut that into a manageable deficit.
Mhm.
You could argue at that point the game's meaningless, so it doesn't matter. But I mean, to me, it shows that they're here to play, and I think they figured out something on the Clippers side. And even when Kawhi came back, they looked really
Yeah.
impressive to me. Clutch play. I knew like Irving and Doncic would be pretty much unguardable, but like the way they stepped up on defense is really impressive to me. Diego, as a Mavs fan, what were the things that stood out to you, both on the Mavs and Clippers sides?
Yeah, I think Mavs side, like you said, defense was just the biggest thing. Luka Doncic playing some amazing defense, like defense that actually had me audibly raising my voice and be like, "Let's go!" Because man, you have one play where he's on Terrence Mann, staying in front of him, gets him to pick up his dribble. Terrence Mann shoots, beautiful contest. He can't, the center can't get the board. Gafford or Lively, one of them, and then Miles Mason Plumlee gets the ball at the rim, and I'm like, oh man, this is an easy layup. And Luca out of nowhere gets a block, and I was like, let's go. Two huge defensive plays within the span of not even 5 seconds. And so, and additionally, in the fourth quarter, you have James Harden getting him 1-on-1, Kawhi Leonard getting him 1-on-1, possibly Paul George in the game for sure, but not at the end of the game. I'm not sure, but it just some of the defense he played was huge, and that was a big part of being able to win. I mean, I think what were they? They were like 2 of 17 or something like that, like shooting 28%, something really low against with Luca as the one-on-one defender for
Wow.
PG, Kawhi, and James Harden. So like it had me thinking is this something we could see normally, and he just doesn't feel like doing it? I don't know, but there were still some plays where you have the regular Luca defense, which is to be expected. Those kind of stints are amazing, but they're not going to happen often. But also Daniel Gafford getting kind of scaring me because I thought he was out for the whole game, but he came back. Big thing for me was Josh Green. Josh Green's energy off the bench, sort of like a Westbrook. Well, Westbrook's more chaos agent. That's what I think is a good word for him. Just chaos agent. Just And you could see it too. Like at one point, he like fouls. I don't know. That might have been Devin Booker in another game, but like just like the regular Russell Westbrook turnover where he's like too fast, he passes it, and it's just out of bounds. Like
He
you
plays
get
out of
that kind of
control. Yeah.
chaos, but then you also get the chaos of like he's gonna like there were a bunch of boards where he can't get it at all, but he just like smacks it to like the 3 point line, and another Clipper is there. And it's like, oh great, this is a rebound. So Josh Green kind of did that as well when he came in, just really fast. That was one thing. He's just pushing the pace, which I really like against this Clippers team. And yeah, just the Clippers, Zubats. We put our foot down. Said Zubats, you're not doing any of what you were doing last game, which is great. And I think just a lot better defense. That was a big thing as well, and especially coming off a game where you scored 30 and a half. We've definitely improved since then, but this was a grinded out game. No, neither of the offenses were really cooking. Uh, the Clippers offense mostly due to the Mavs defense. But this was 60 point game, like 60 something for both teams in the middle of the third quarter. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Like the Mavs won. I think it's their first game they win, scoring under 100 points all season.
Wow.
It's it's just how it is.
They
Now that
made
you have.
they made a statement for sure. And then
Hmm.
um, I can't let you go without talking about Derek Lively as well,
Yeah.
because it's just one play I've noticed out of him, but, like, him,
Mm-hmm.
like, getting the steal on the other end of the court on I think it was either Plumlee or Zubac, and, like,
Hmm.
just creating on his own that turnover and scoring, that
Yeah.
tells me a lot about this team. Like, even just the additions of PJ Washington and Gafford, I was also very nervous once Gafford, like, had, like, those back
Hmm.
spasms that came up,
Yeah, it
or
looked
I
weird.
something happened with his back. Um, but, like, PJ Washington, like, and that those bigs, we've been talking about it on this podcast so many times, but, like,
Hmm.
they are making such a huge difference on this team, because with the Clippers, now they have to reevaluate their whole, like, wing player situation
Yeah.
that they got going on with, like, Harden, Paul George, like, Kawhi, and Terrence Mann. I don't think that's the right personnel against, like, these bigs per se, because
Hmm.
there's such an emphasis on rebounding there. Um,
No, yeah.
I mean, Kawhi can play the 4, but, like, he's best utilized as, like, a dominant, like
Strong
like a
three.
dominant, 3, a strong 3, and
Hmm.
then playing Paul George as a 2. Like, they might have to explore 2 big lineups and see what happens, and their 2 big lineups aren't as effective as, like, Dallas, so they got a little bit of soul searching to do. But also, I'm gonna give the Clippers a little bit of slack. You're trying to ingratiate, like, Kawhi Leonard in his first game
Hmm.
back when you
Yeah.
don't really know if he's prepared for contact and whatnot, so I think you're gonna see a much better Kawhi Leonard in game 3, but
Hmm.
for the Clippers, this one hurts because, like, the entire point of having home field advantage is, like, kind
Yeah.
of eliminated by 1 game, and that's why I don't overreact to, like, a team like the Knicks or, like, the Celtics getting home court, because all it takes is 1 game where you work towards it all season. 1 playoff game can change the entire momentum on who has home court. So,
Hmm.
even if you have the higher seed, it doesn't matter, you still have to hold serve at home. But I've liked what I've seen from the Mavs. I liked what I've seen in the Clippers in game 1. I
Yeah.
still
That
think
was
this
nice.
is going 7. My stance hasn't changed on this, because I think these teams are honestly evenly matched.
No, I'd agree. I mean, I agree they're also evenly matched, but more for my own like sanity.
Oh
I
my
don't want this to
gosh.
be 7 games.
Horford just got decked by Kevin Love.
Yeah,
See
that
that?
was an interesting one.
Oh my god. Sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, I mean, I can see it's going 7 games for my own sanity. I don't want it to be 7 games, but yeah, no, definitely could be. And then just to go back to Lively, like there is some praise for Lively, but I think one big thing that I've noticed is that there's a bunch of times where Lively will get the ball like in the paint and he'll either like he won't catch on a lob. He'll just catch it normally, and then if he goes up, he might miss. Like in game 1, he missed. It was basically like the rim was behind him. He could have done like this and like reverse jammed it, but he was trying to lay it up at that point, and so he gets fouled, and then it's just he's a 50% free throw shooter. What is he gonna do? Like it's not that likely to go in. The same thing happened yesterday where he gets the ball and he goes up, he gets fouled, and he can't make that dunk. He can't make that layup, and that I think is a big thing for him to work on. Now, obviousobviously, we're talking about a 20-year-old kid, like, and I can say that because I'm
I'm a young
23,
guy.
so yeah, so he's really young. So obviously that's not a problem for like that's not a huge problem now, but it's just like it would be nice. But I say give it some time, obviously. And then
Yeah, he
yeah,
needs some technical refinement. I think a lot of his
mm,
offense comes from working with Luca on the
yeah,
lobs, but
no,
like
definitely.
he can expand his game. You see the potential there,
Hmm.
but like it's kind of like with the NFL draft coming up, you have to excuse me for a second, but, like, with these quarterbacks here, like, you
Yeah.
wanna give them, like, a year of time to, like, actually have them make mistakes and whatnot, and,
Hmm.
like, in the NBA, it's the same way with these rookies. Like, you can't come in there and then just expect them to play, like, back-to-backs or, like, games spread 2 days apart and whatnot, and do that for a full season
No.
while, like, getting the technical refinement from game to game to game, and Ladley's gotten better as the season's gone along, but, like,
Hmm.
he this is obviously his first time in the playoffs because he's in his rookie year. And like he's learning how these like micro moments mean a ton, like in the grand scheme of things. Because like in the playoffs, it's just about like how do you maximize your possessions and how do you
Hmm.
maximize your transition points? Because
Yeah.
they're gonna come very rare. A lot of times, like you're gonna come in like half court sets, and just watching the Heat playing zone right now in the Celtics, like
Hmm.
you're gonna have teams that try all different stuff, like Sixers, like the Clippers, like the Heat. You can book them for trying like all different types of defenses to throw you
Yeah.
off. And Lively has to learn to play in environments like that with high stress situations. And
Mhm.
I think he's gonna make mistakes throughout the series. Can the Mavericks overcome that? Yeah, sure, because they got the depth to manage that. But that's something to be like, okay, let's temper our expectations on Lively. Like,
Mhm.
can he be like a fourth or third option? He can, but I wouldn't rely on it.
No, definitely. And then I guess two smaller things is like one thing I noticed mostly in game one is like this Mavs analyst, he talked about this when we got Daniel Gafford, is that he's very good at getting blocks, but the thing is sometimes when he goes for a block, he's obviously leaving the backside for whoever he's guarding to be open, and that happened a lot in game one. So I'm happy to see less of that. And then additionally, there was a tech on Luca at one point where he makes a layup, doesn't get the call he thinks he should get, and then he's like obviously going off to the ref and then gets teed. And like I will say he was valid for it because I watching the replay, he got hit twice and no call, while James Harden can just like shoot a shot, put his pinky toe out, get contact there, and then fall over and have a 3-point play right there. So
But
that was one thing that made me mad. But like obviously, I don't condone Luca like going off on the ref. Like come on, but whatever. So
especially in
so
that
that's
situation, because like
yeah.
when you got two evenly matched teams, like
Mhm.
a technical foul could be the difference in the game. Like,
Definitely.
that's how small this margin for error is, like, even in the first round of matchups, so,
Mhm.
um, totally fair. I
Yeah.
wanna kinda move this along, so we're
Yeah.
gonna go
Definitely.
to the Timberwolves and the Suns. Um,
Ooh.
Personally, this has probably been my favorite series to watch, like, I mean, obviously, there've been a lot of games. Knicks,
Yeah.
76ers, like, Lakers and Nuggets, like,
That was
been really
nuts.
great.
That's gonna be a good one
That
when we get
was
there.
insane. Like, what a treat to have, like, 2 games, like, on the same day and, like,
Mhm.
in very, like in very last minute fashion and, like, kept you
Right,
on your
yeah.
toes and stuff. That was, like, literally watching a movie, and you got
Yeah.
2 movies at that. That was amazing.
Yeah,
But,
no,
like,
it
with
was
the Suns and
great.
the Timberwolves, um I think that Timberwolves are showing the true colors when we watch this, and when we see the Suns, we see clear problems like on the offensive end, and I think this is a good like barometer of where the league is now and how much of like building a super team versus like building like a great team like built around defense. Like
Mhm.
where's the balance in that? And I think it's just an intriguing standpoint to look at two different rosters where you think one team has the potential to upset the other. I think you had the Suns beating the Timberwolves. I didn't make a bracket myself.
Mhm.
That would have been fun to do. But
Yeah.
this is like the one matchup in the West where I could see like an upset happening because of the talent level on the Suns. But like clearly, like the Timberwolves are proving why they're one of the best teams in the league in this series.
Yeah, I think, uh, I agree, that the Timberwolves have just looked so amazing in these past games, having one explosion by Anthony Edwards and then having a just coming out party for Jaden McDaniels. I mean, the quote that's been just flying around NBA Twitter is Ant being like, "They have KD, well, we have Jaden
Jaden
McDaniels," and
McDaniels. Yep.
I heard that, and I was like, "What is my guy saying?" And after last night, I love Jaden McDaniels, like, great defender, just dropping 25, going crazy, like, and
Yeah.
Ant didn't score more than, like, 10 points, I think you were saying before we got on air, like, that's wild. I think a
I
big
had
thing
him
as
on a
well.
parlay, going for
Uh-huh.
25. It is what it
So
is.
but the biggest thing I think a lot of Rudy Gobert had a ton of free throws where he would just get the ball, like get in the paint, and like you either like make a pass or like just get fouled because no one on Phoenix can stop him getting to the rim, and like like w- we've said, maybe not we, but like you've heard so many times the thing just like Gobert has no bag, Gobert has no offense, and this guy's just getting free throws and knocking a good amount of them down. So I think it was a huge thing. I want to see how they
And
play
good
in
form
Phoenix.
too. Like he switched like 2 in a row,
No,
like
he's
on one
swishing
of
them.
them, and like he didn't even touch rim. I want to touch on Gobert for a second.
Mhm.
He's probably been the most impressive player to me
Yeah.
this season, and that's coming from somebody who watches Kobe White, Tyrese Maxey. Like
Yeah.
those are two guys in the running for that. I think Tyrese got most improved player, this season, but like,
He did.
um, or like
No,
he's
he
in the
won
lead
it.
for that.
He
Oh,
won
he
it
won it.
yesterday.
Okay,
Yep.
never mind. I was right. I was right. I saw that on Bleacher Report. I'm like, okay, well
Yeah.
deserved. I wish it was Kobe, but
No.
whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, Gobert low key should be there. Like I think bars right there. But
Mhm.
I like he's getting defensive player of the year, and like this year it feels like it's it's valid. It's valid for him to win it because if you watch him switch on like Devin Booker and
Mhm.
Bradley Beal
He's
and give them
scary,
problems
man.
and keep up with them, like very it's very man, he's getting steals on the regular, like,
Yeah.
if you know Gobert's play style, it's blocks, like,
Mhm.
he's up there to deter you, then, like, completely change your angle of, like, attacking the rim and whatnot, and he's completely changed his game from that perspective. To his credit, he's worked on his shooting, he knows who he is as a player, and he's not,
Yeah.
like, unplayable now on the defensive end at all.
Mhm.
Um, I think the pairing with him and Towns looks absolutely amazing right now. And I personally had dogged the Timberwolves for making the trade for Walker Kessler because of what Kessler looked like this first season.
Yeah.
And now, like, credit to them, they struck through the process, and now they have three superstars on their team: Gobert, Towns, and Edwards. They have the personnel around. They have experienced veterans, Mike Conley,
Mhm.
um, and then you have a guy, and you have two guys of the same mold, really, in Nikhil Alexander Walker, a guy nobody considered to be a great wing
Yeah.
in the league, coming from the Pelicans over, and then you have
Mhm.
Jaden McDaniels, the starting wing, 1 out for 25. The weakest player on the team offensively is clearly Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Like given everybody else, or Gobert, it depends. But like this is a top to bottom great roster, and the defensive schemes and the support around Anthony Edwards and the way Anthony Edwards plays when he's not on the top of his game and scoring and whatnot in this game show me that this team can make a run. They really can.
No, yeah. I think at one point in the broadcast they were saying that Ant had to like still one of the higher plus minuses, even though he wasn't making shots, which I think was very interesting.
Because of his assists. Because of
Yeah.
his assists
Yeah.
and just like effectiveness on defense. Like there were
Yeah.
like a couple plays where like he had some like clutch blocks and like clutch steals. Um, I saw a couple clips where he was like dapping up the ref. That was
Oh, that
absolutely
was so funny.
hilarious.
That was
That
hilarious.
was so funny. I was waiting for like, oh, we knew like it was rigged. Like the refs just want the Timberwolves to win. I
Yeah.
was waiting for those comments so much, but him wearing the armband with like that Kevin Garnett was wearing
Oh,
when he
no,
was on the
it's
Timberwolves,
not.
the
It's
finger
just something
sleeve.
on his finger, like a finger sleeve that just has 21 for KD
No,
or
but even the
KD.
elbow band, I think,
Oh, really?
Kevin Garnett wore it because I think he injured his elbow or his
Mm,
arm,
I
like,
see.
I think
No, yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
first
I
seasons,
remember seeing something about that.
and then he just decided wearing that ever since then. So it's kind of like a staple of his, like, basketball outfit, and
That's
then,
pretty real.
that was pretty cool to see Anthony Edwards play homage to that. But just the way he's playing at such a young age, chirping at
Mhm.
KD and whatnot, like
Yeah,
all
man.
the old players love his play style, and I don't blame them. Like he's got a crafty move where like he'll have this turnaround, but
Mhm.
his footwork is so like so precise that he'll make a be like a quarter turnaround fake to another turnaround on the other side, and
Mm-hmm.
then right when he's facing the basket, you think he's gonna let it go when he spins the other way on the turnaround, and
Uh-huh.
then no, it's just like a sidestep, like
Mm-hmm.
floater kind of deal. But
Yeah,
like the
the step
defender's
through.
like not expecting that, whatever. And it's not a travel because Edwards kind of uses his non-pivot foot to spring off like his pivot foot,
Mm-hmm.
and so his pivot foot's in the air and then make that floater. And like it's just a unique way to make a sidestep in the middle of the paint where
Yeah,
like it's just got in his go-to range, and that's very cool to see. Um, Anthony Edwards making a strong case towards being a top 5 player in this league, and that's
at 22, 23 is crazy.
yeah, and not even that. It's just who do you even have as your top 5 now? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's it's insanity. Like, are you gonna
Yeah.
leave LeBron off because of his age? Like, you can't do that with his
Mm.
credential. Like, you can't do the same thing with Steph Curry, even though the Warriors are not in the playoffs. You see what Jokic is doing.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people
Jokic
have
has to be
KD,
there.
Kyrie, Luca, like Shy, like,
Yeah.
and Anthony Edwards is making that discussion more and more difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
he's just that special. Like, even on a night where he doesn't even hit 20 points, like he has a superstar performance. That's how
Yeah.
great he looked.
I think it's gonna be something difficult in the future. I don't think we've seen, especially our generation, seen greats of this caliber lose that touch. I mean, they haven't lost it really, but it's a different era, and it just feel like you can feel that coming, but you're not sure when the moment is. And in 10 years, we're gonna know when it happened. But like right now, we're living through it, and it's like I don't know. It's like when LeBron, he was kind of teased at retiring in like an awards show last summer after losing to the Nuggets. Like I was sitting there thinking he might actually do it right here. It's over, and I was like, no, 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 no. Like I was scared, but it's just like that's just what's gonna happen in the
I
future
mean, he
with
can't
someone
keep
else.
losing to the Nuggets. That'd be a huge hit,
No, this is
even at
this is
his
rough,
age.
man.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, but this is rough. But I one last thing I wanted to say on this series, just Grayson Allen sprains his ankle for the second game and it's not looking good. And this is a guy like between him, KD, Book, and Beal, they're already over the salary cap. They're
Mhm.
already like a tax team that has to pay way more. HB is gonna be shelling out a bunch of money for this team. Like, what are they gonna do next? And it just feels like Beal doesn't add anything because he's just like a third Booker or a third KD player, and it just doesn't feel like they fit together as well. You just
The problem is they need a point guard. They
mm-hmm.
need a point guard to speed up their process because right now it's. I think Jamal Crawford was talking about this,
Yeah.
and it was a great point. Like, because they don't have that point guard to try and like speed up the process and get each other like open looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like KD, like Booker, and like Bradley Beal are kind of like taking turns, like
Yeah.
ISOing or like trying to run the offense when they're really not put in those positions to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would strongly consider putting Isaiah Thomas in the starting lineup
I've seen
just
that.
for that effect on their offense. I get it, the defense is going to be a problem,
Oh
but
yeah.
like,
That's already a problem.
well, I mean, yeah, like how else are you gonna change? Like you have a defensive led coach, it's clearly not working.
God,
At
yeah.
times in game 1, it looked okay, but like, um, it's not good enough.
Mm-mm.
It's not good enough. And I think from the offensive end, I think they're making it too hard on themselves. They're not getting efficient looks and whatnot.
They're
And I
missing a
think
lot of shots.
I think IT is a veteran where he will know like when to feed KD, when to feed Booker, when to get Beal going. Because yeah, they could have great nights individually, but like when you talk about from the team perspective, it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because now like you're asking Nurkic to come up on the top of the ball screen all the time, but it's for like KD, Beal, and like and like Booker. Like, imagine if it's IT and a Nurkic like pick and roll.
Yeah.
Like now you
Something.
don't have to ask like KD, Booker, and Beal to like run that and decide it every single position. Now
Mm-hmm.
you can have them like spread out, cause their own spacing for the gravity of all 3 players being prolific shooters and mid-range artists, and that's gonna help like get more efficient looks for IT and Nurkic. That's what it looks like if you just have a point guard in there. Look at the
Mm-hmm.
effect that Mike Conley had. Like he
Yeah.
stepped up when like Ant was down. Like he was running the offense, like getting guys in position, drawing charges and whatnot. I'm not saying IT is gonna bring that exact same thing, but
No.
like he's gonna bring something to help this offense be more efficient.
Yeah, Mike Conley is just like he's like the calming presence in that locker room, and I love it. I mean, my
Mhm.
guy's 36-year-old, one-time all like he's just had the most chill, perfect like career besides like leaving Memphis, obviously. But yeah, no, he's a great player, and I love him on this Timberwolves team because they really use him.
Yep. Okay. Moving on to the Celtics and the Heat. Playing right now. I
Yeah,
didn't get a chance to check on the score before the ads
it's
came up.
45-44. Just got up with a three.
Okay, cool. Do you think the Heat have a chance to win this series?
A chance to win is it's steep. It's steep for me to say. Now we've only seen 1.25 games ish so far, a bit more, but I just see it it seems very difficult to me because you don't have Jimmy Butler, literally the catalyst of all of this. Now Bam just hit a nasty fade before this timeout, and he can do that, but it just doesn't feel like they have the firepower unless obviously Bam goes off, Tyler Hero goes off. They're gonna need some Herculean efforts from these guys right here, and I don't know if they can do it. So that's just my thought. But also, Celtics, can they flop? Are they gonna flop? That like they've got to put this away. They've either got to put it away or just make sure they're not doing anything wrong and don't mess up in crunch time.
They've had problems putting away games before.
Hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if the Heat steal one. But I will say this: there's a lot of pressure on Jaime Jaquez right now
Yeah.
because he's been playing great when Jimmy Butler's been absent. But like,
Hmm.
I think it's a lot of pressure on him to
Oh
expect
yeah.
him to show up as like the third option they need, but
Hmm.
really they lose their primary option. I'm really impressed with like Hero's development because he's not like a guy that's like a 1B playing offside Jimmy Butler now.
Hmm.
He's really like he's quietly approaching 1A, and he's like initiating his own offense. Like he's become more self reliant, and then Bam's the wild card as well here. Like if he can start controlling the boards on Porzingis, this changes the matchup and makes it more tightly contested.
Hmm.
But with that said, that the Heat have a small margin for error. Like if they can grab this game, they
Jeez.
might have a shot, but they have to be perfect at home. They
Hmm.
have to be perfect at home because the problem is with the Celtics, with the wild card is like Porzingis now.
Yeah,
Like
his health more than
he
anything.
advised like he advised a level of like consistency from like the
Hmm.
3 point range that like the Celtics haven't had. If they hit a dry
Definitely.
spell, the Porzingis is easily a guy that can get involved and say, "Oh, we know where your spots are," and it's going to be hard for like any team to kind of really match up there. Like Bam can guard, like he can play defense. He's not that bad at that,
Hmm.
but like that's like Porzingis is at this point in his career, he's just like a different matchup like
Yeah.
problem. And then I'm seeing Duncan Robinson hit some quality threes here. They're gonna have to get some guys like Caleb Martin or like Duncan Robinson that have like
A
great
huge
games
game.
individually. And then speaking of like Hami Haka's young player,
Hmm.
Jovic, like
Young.
that's another guy who's gonna have to step up and get quality minutes because like Jovic and Bam are like the Heat's only options to try and deter Porzingis, and even then, that looks slim.
No, yeah, definitely. Oh, one thing you were like, Bam's not bad at defense. Bam's one of the finalists for Deep Boy. Come on, he's one of the top three.
This is where I admit that I have not watched much of the Miami Heat, and it's probably why I deserve to see the Miami Heat like completely blow out the Bulls.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that said, Porzingis is just well,
No,
look at
he's
him
so
posting up right
different.
now. Like
Yeah, like what's Jovic
it's
gonna
just
do?
things that if he brings a level of consistency from like where you don't have to have Tatum and Brown like drive the
Hmm.
whole time. The whole
Yeah,
problem with the Celtics is once they have like Jalen Brown driving, then you're like, oh no, he's probably gonna turn it over once he hits the elbow. Because that's
mhm,
usually what happens. He gets careless, he like hangs the ball open, like
yeah,
inviting it to get stealed. And they were not like moving the ball from side to side like as much. That's still like a problem I want them to solve. And hopefully Holiday and White can do that as much as possible to prevent it becoming the Jason Tatum show and the Jalen Brown show. But
yeah.
um, I mean, if the Heat can get the Celtics to play iso ball, they have a strong chance.
Yeah,
But
that's how you'll win a game.
that's 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 the rarity. I don't think the Celtics are gonna revert to that, but they've done it before, so I can't put it past them.
Yeah, and I guess big thing for the Heat, my favorite playoff saying is role players play their best at home, and we'll see. We'll see what they get at the Kaseya Center down there in Miami. But
You did not come up with that.
no,
You
that's
did not
that's the name. No, I didn't come up with that saying. That's the saying I've heard.
My man K Perk did. Kendrick Perkins.
God, I'm in pain now. I thought it was like a,
My idol.
a philosophical basketball intellect, and it was just
From
Kendrick
Dr.
Perkins.
Naismith himself.
Yeah, I need some Dr. Naismith knowledge up in here. But yeah, yeah.
Tyler Hero with the three, Cash. And they are up by 4 now. Wow, 3 minutes to go. I
Jeez.
mean, yeah, if the Heat can keep this up, this will be great. Alrighty. Pelicans and Thunder.
Oh my god, this was my favorite Sunday game.
I love this game.
This game was nuts. I was not expecting the Pelicans to come out like that and play the kind of defense they did. I wanted them to win. I'm kind of on the Pelicans bandwagon for a second here, just because imagine with Zion. I feel this game could have been
Oh man, we
way
got cheated
different.
out of a
I
Zion and
know.
Chet and Shy matchup. Like that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was a game like I stayed up for, down to the
Same.
wire.
Hmm.
Um, all the other games I crashed in the middle of halftime. I was so mad. Especially that Mavs and Clippers game. I was so mad.
Yeah, that's
But
a tough one.
I mean, watching this game was very intriguing. Um, I knew the Pelicans could play good defense because they've been playing good defense all season. They just
Hmm.
had a matchup problem with LeBron and AD in the play-in game.
Yeah,
But I just Trey Murphy's just one of my favorite players to watch on that team.
balling.
I love what he's a smart player. He's a smart player that's not just a three-point specialist, and he needs to get more touches. Herb Jones is
I
really
love
improved
Herb
in three-point
Jones.
shooting as well, and the combination of those two, like I just put in a parlay where like I'm expecting Herb Jones to get like 1 or 2 steals now. And granted, I'm hoping Holiday can get 2 steals here, but like, I mean, just to have that combination of like length and like
True.
precision from the three-point shooting
Yeah.
is like they're like 3 and D, like one of like players you idealize having on your team. And
Hmm.
then as long as McCollum shows up, this team has a chance to
Yeah.
do something special. Bi didn't have the greatest of games, but I
He was
think
making some shots, but nothing crazy.
yeah, he didn't like go off for like a 30 plus burger, I don't think. But
Hmm.
like they'll need him to like clearly establish himself in the 1A, and then um and the other key variable, Valanciunas has got to watch some AD tape on the Thunder and
Yeah.
just crash the boards. Just crash. Chet's not at the point of his career right now where he can
No,
box
it's
out
not.
Valanciunas, and you got to take that and use that to your advantage. Um, I think the one thing the Thunder have up on the Pelicans is that like Shea is unguardable.
Hmm.
Like he's up and running for the MVP discussion. I kind of wish I voted for him. But like he's absolutely unguardable, and the way they run their style is completely different. Where like anyone can handle the ball.
Yeah.
Like I think Josh Giddey didn't have like a single bucket until like late in the fourth quarter. I don't even
Mhm.
think he scored, but like he was just like running the offense when needed to. Sometimes it was
Yeah.
Shea, sometimes it was like Jalen Williams. Like
Oh,
they just
jeez.
have so many guys that can bring up the ball and like
Mhm.
initiate the offense where it's different. And like they do at the point guard in Shea, but like
Yeah.
with Phoenix, you don't have that. Like you kind of have your superstar
Yeah.
just like bring the ball up, but that's not the same thing as like running the offense. Whereas like in OKC, it's like anybody's liable for a rebound and anybody can start the break, and
Mhm.
it's just very free flowing. It opens everything up, and it's the contrast of styles is why I like this first round matchup.
That's true. I do enjoy that. One thing I do also enjoy, I think this was from B-Ball Breakdown, uh, talking about Shea, and you don't like I saw like the steals that he's like the steals leader in the NBA or tied for steals leader, and like my initial thought was like, oh, but like he is Chet Holmgren, like how much of that is really him doing that. And one of the things pointed out in that video was anytime the other team tries to post up Shea, uh, he's able to just poke it out as the pass is coming in. And like I was like, oh, like you see the clips and you're like, oh yeah, it looks like he does that. And I saw that in game and I was like, no way, like I just saw that live and I knew like And it's because this guy is 6 foot, 6'5", 6'6", with a 7 foot wingspan, a +6'7", like +6 slash +7, which is crazy. I mean, like that is some length out of this world, and so that's why bigger guys aren't like they're waiting for the ball, not going towards it, and that just gives Shea a pop right there, and he can steal that. So that was fun to watch, and
The number
uh,
one rule in football is they teach is like don't wait for the ball to come to you, like attack the ball like at its
get to
highest
the ball,
point and
yeah.
whatnot. And in basketball, it's the same thing. Like if you're not gonna do that, like guys with length, like even a Murphy and a
Hmm.
Jones and like Shea, they can easily get those. Like the
Yeah.
way the wingspans are now, like you got
Jeez.
like 10 Giannis's out here. Like
Mhm.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Um. Oh, the other thing was I honestly thought Shea was gonna flop. I Up until like the last 2 minutes, he had just not been playing well, turning the ball over, missing shots, and I was
Drew
like,
Holiday with the steal and the oh come on, this is bad Celtics, man.
yeah, just
They just
two.
got 2 steals in a row, and what a and then Holiday had such a nice steal with, like, 2 seconds
Hmm.
left in the clock. Oh my
But you
goodness.
just you just gave it up too easily. It's tough.
I mean, they
Too
had to rush it
unselfish.
because, like, they had 2 seconds,
No, they
but, like,
did. I
you
think
gotta
if
be
you were
more
getting that
precise.
shot. Hmm.
61-58, Boston's taking the lead. I think they got the home crowd into it.
Yeah.
Great steal by Jaylen Brown,
Oh
but
no, yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah, I saw this out the corner of my eye. I was like you said there was a seal. I recognize it now, but like since I was like talking and like seeing on the side, I
Shea,
did not.
yeah.
Um. Oh right, I
But
was talking about
but even like Chet getting
that
blocks
block. Yeah.
and then Jalen Williams getting like he can easily pencil him for 20 a night,
Mhm.
initiating his own offense. Like they got a bunch of number one options on this team that they can just like light it up and whatnot. And then obviously a lot's been said about Josh Giddey like this
Mhm.
full season on and off the court. But
Yeah.
like does it really matter with this team because they're just so deep that even if he's having an off night, they can roll up an entire different bench and,
It's
like, still get
crazy.
effectiveness on offense. Like, plus they got, like, 8 more first round picks coming up down the line for the next 5
Mhm.
years, and probably more, and probably more, and probably more. But, yeah, Thunder are in a great spot, man. Like, I didn't think they'd be the number 1 seed and playing like, this season.
Like,
I thought they'd be a top 4 seed, like, top 5, like, 5th seed maybe, but, like, they're just a really impressive team to watch.
mhm. Yeah, I'm excited to see how they play tonight. That's kinda right. I think they're playing tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they have
playing
to
the
be
night
playing.
game. I think 9:30,
Yeah,
9:30
so
Eastern.
I'm excited for that. This is I'm just like it's like I'm so excited. This is playoff basketball. We got it all. Let's go.
We
Like,
had such a great regular season,
yeah.
and then, like, especially that Knicks and the Lakers games, that followed each other that day, like,
Mm, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
first round is already this good.
Mhm.
I'm really like, the NBA
I'm
is in a great
excited.
spot right now, like, every game is must-watch TV. Um,
Mhm.
even hockey's like this too, even though I haven't watched any of the
Really?
games, like, I've heard like, I've been watching the I listen to the Pac Man show a lot, and
I see.
a lot of hockey fans there, and it's yeah, both leagues are in great spots, and I think we're gonna be entertained even if LeBron and Steph aren't in the finals and
Oh,
KD's not in
no.
the
We'll be
finals. And
entertained.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of LeBron,
Let's go.
um, what a heartbreak for the
This
Lakers,
is
man.
nuts, man.
Legendary shot by Murray over AD. AD walking off after giving his answer to the press conference. Like, you know how deflating that was for the Lakers. Like,
Yeah.
they did so many things right in game two, and then like the Nuggets just come out calmly. Like this is why you got to worry about the Nuggets. Like
Mhm.
again, because they they know what it takes to win a championship, and now like this is the Warriors. This is this is the
Yeah.
Warriors coming up with the Nuggets. They're playing like it. They're battle tested. They are not flinching. You can have LeBron, Michael Jordan, Stephen Curry on the other side, and this team will not flinch. I'm not saying they're going to win against
Mhm.
those three players, but they will not flinch, and that's a scary thought about a team like that
Yeah.
because like especially in a game like basketball when it's a very emotional game. And granted, they're at home for these two games, but like that crowd was an amazing crowd in Denver. Getting them involved, like now, like they believe this team can repeat, and just the basketball IQ, the artistry, like wow. Every time I watch the Lakers and Nuggets game, even though the Nuggets have like won like 9 or 10 straight
Hmm.
on the Lakers, like it's always like must see viewing.
Yeah.
And um, what a great game.
Yeah. I think the two biggest takeaways for me were just Jamal Murray, like Shea a little bit, he was frustrated in that fourth quarter. He was not getting what he wanted to get. So when I saw him go up to AD, step back, shoot that shot, I was honestly surprised. I was like, "Oh, my man just chucked this up. Like, let's see what happens." And he drained it, and it was like I was in my bed just like blank, like wow, that is like I like the Lakers, I like LeBron, but I have not like they came back down 20, man. That's crazy. And like I
There's an AK shot of
Mhm.
um, Jamal Murray shooting it over Anthony
Oh yeah.
Davis, and you can zoom in on every one of those. Imagine if you're a Denver fan right now and you get your hands on that picture and you just frame it up. That's like your Dame on Paul George moment. That's like your Dirk
Oh yeah.
Rose on like the Cavaliers at home, like
Yeah.
2015, like shot over the 3-point line. Like that is like that's Steph Curry over like OKC. Like that's those one in a lifetime moments.
Mhm.
Even though it's been happening so many times the past 5 years, like that that's like a moment Jamal's gonna remember for the rest of his life. On top of winning a championship,
Oh
like
yeah.
it was that special.
Mhm.
And even like the micro moments in the series so far were like LeBron looks like he's gonna get his patented like behind the back block on Jamal
Oh
Murray.
yeah.
Jamal Murray just dunks it. Like Michael Porter, like LeBron knows like he's gonna shoot like a catch and shoot three, and he tries to chase out to get it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Christian Brown, like not afraid to challenge people, like going on from his rookie year.
Mhm.
KCP, like
Yeah.
and then you look on the Lakers side, LeBron, full court pass, still doing what he's doing in Denver at his age, impressive. Um, D'Angelo Russell, I think he hit like 5 or 6 threes,
Yeah, he
and like
was
5 of them in the first half. Like he was on a heater. He's been much maligned last season, and like he's been playing better. AD fully healthy, like doing what he does, but like it it doesn't matter. Even if LeBron, Russell, and like AD account for like 70 points, I feel like that's not enough.
no.
That's not enough against the Nuggets because like everybody's hitting double figures on this team, on the Nuggets team, every single time. And then their bench, Peyton Watson and Christian Brown, like the Nuggets can easily go back to back as well.
No,
It's we've
definitely.
been talking about the Timberwolves earlier. Like between them, Timberwolves and Thunder, that's gonna be hard matchups. Regardless, like that's it's gonna be unsettling. Like you would want to vote for Timberwolves or Thunder to get out of that series, but like I mean, how, I mean, just appreciate like how the Nuggets and Lakers have been playing now. It's been
Yeah.
impressive.
I think another thing I just thought is just like this was in some ways this was kind of a LeBron like in the fourth quarter, especially just like him saying I'll do what I have to do and I'll do everything. I mean, he he gets a steal, huge contest on Murray that turns into a steal for a dunk. Like with Aaron Gordon in his face, hits a three right in his mouth, and I was like, "Let's go!" Hits another three, and it's like my man is 39 years old. Like I was literally saying, I was like,
Yeah,
"My guy is 39, like doing this," and ah, it was tough to lose that way for him, but like it's just like I said, like he just like he can't dominate in the same way, and I feel like maybe you put 2013 LeBron instead of this LeBron on this Lakers team, and maybe it would be different. It would definitely be some in some way, shape, or form different, but it's just how it is. Like this is him now. We can't like he can't do anything to change it. We can't do anything to change it, and it's just tough.
yeah.
It's like I just felt bad once they got to 20. I was like, I just have a feeling it's not gonna last. As the the lead keeps dwindling, dwindling. I'm like, it's the same thing. Like it's so inevitable. There's so many Thanos memes about it, where it's just like the Nuggets whenever the Lakers are up in the first half, and you know it's gonna happen. And
Inevitable.
it's so tough. Yeah. They're
Wow.
just so good, man. And I think the biggest thing was Jokic, even though he knew that Murray wasn't 100%, he was still giving him the ball, getting him into spots where he could cook and eventually warm up enough to take that last shot. And man, they're a whole different level of team right now, I feel like.
And I think why I appreciate the Nuggets so much. I've talked about their brand of play last year. I've gone on and on. We've gone on and on talking about how great this Nuggets are. Like they built their team the right way.
Oh yeah,
They really all these guys are like pretty much homegrown except for like KCP and Aaron Gordon,
Gordon.
who they got
Yeah,
from a trade. Everybody else is like smart GMs, like building the team. Great coach of Mike Malone, trusting his guys. Like I love the story when like I don't love the situation when like Murray tore his ACL, but I love the story and like how Malone still trusted his guy, wasn't going to trade him because he was a damaged asset. In Murray's words, and just the belief and confidence they have in their team when like the perception outside is like, oh, um, Jokic can't guard a parked car because of his size and like lack of athleticism. He can't
yeah.
jump off a curb. Like
So
Murray is
made of glass.
like yeah, like he's not going to show up. Like Michael Porter Jr. is too one dimensional,
Hmm.
and I think I think maybe it was like watching it during COVID when I've been watching like Donovan Mitchell on the Utah Jazz, which is Jamal Murray
Yeah,
on the Nuggets, just go
that was
at each
nuts.
other. And
Hmm.
that was when I was like, okay, I think a lot of people are wrong about this. These are two superstars in the making. I didn't know at the time like the Nuggets would win a championship because I'm like thinking in my mind, okay, the Warriors are too good. Who's gonna stop them? And like the
Yeah.
Lakers just got 80 and LeBron. Who's gonna stop them? But like I was just like Donovan Mitchell and like Jamal Murray at the time are like top 10 players. Like this is like a masterclass. Like this is
Yeah.
an amazing first round series. And then here we go. We got like five of these going on right now. So my point is like credit to the Nuggets organization for sticking with their
Hmm.
process and like
Building a great team.
understanding and self-assessing like where the weaknesses are in their roster and building around that rather than like saying, okay, we need players that are more like versatile and can play like both positions rather than like how do we complement each other so we make it hard for a team defense to scheme against us.
Yeah, yeah. And I I dare to say, obviously not they don't have the margin compared to every other team like UConn did, but I like these Denver Nuggets and UConn just have a lot of similar. They feel like a better team. They feel like the best team and with the best offense and just made perfectly. Like this is an analogy
And
with
built the
LeBron.
right way. Built the
Yeah.
right way. They're not going out and getting high priced free agents or like
No.
high priced like recruits and like saying, "Oh, okay, do you want to go on the transfer portal because like you
Yeah.
want to play for us and whatnot, and you want to stack the deck." That's what's most impressive about those teams.
Hmm. Yeah, like smaller market as well. But
Yeah.
what was I saying that there's another thing I wanted to say. UConn. Oh, just their offense, I think, as well. It's just both offenses on those teams are just head and shoulders above the rest, like almost unstoppable. And there was some semblance of stopping them by the Lakers, but still, that's just in the first half. They can't do that for 48 minutes. And it just shows you a team with that much size can't even guard them. Like what is I think our best bet is the Timberwolves, to be honest. The Celtics would need to get kind of warm, but aside from that, yeah.
The Timberwolves have a shot because they have the size and the length to guard the 3-point line, and they
Hmm.
have a guy in Gobert who can just like
Hold down the paint.
eliminate all like paint drives and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like
Scare
But
people.
even then, like if you get Jokic on Gobert, like that's a mismatch for Gobert because like Jokic can just use his size, get into his
Yeah.
chest, and prevent that shot block.
Jokic definitely weighs more. You just move Gobert is the vibe
Yeah,
I'm
it's
getting.
just like a weight class thing. Like
Yeah.
that's like hard to manage. But like even then, like it's asking a lot out of Mike Conley to guard like Jamal
Mm,
Murray and then like figuring out who else would be guard because like you don't want Mike Conley on Aaron Gordon if you're trying to
true.
put like McDaniels like on Murray or something like that,
Hmm.
or like
Or maybe you
Michael
start.
Porter Jr. because of like size and whatnot. So like
Hmm.
even then, there's no like perfect formula to guard the Nuggets
Hmm.
personnel wise. Like the Timberwolves have a shot because like they can just focus the Nuggets on like 3-point range, like
Yeah.
shooting, and then like take away like the actions that get them into the paint and like get drive shots. But like even then, like you can't cover everything with this team. So
Yeah. Just one thing on that is maybe instead of Conley starting in that series, you'd want Nikhil Alexander Walker starting
could be.
just because of his size and whatnot. and
But then on the other side of it, like
you don't have
Conley's
Conley.
been the saving grace in my opinion on like how
Hmm.
they initiate offenses and whatnot. And you're going to put a lot of pressure on Anthony Edwards to drive the offense. And
Yeah.
I think you're going to run into a situation like what the Suns are facing now against these very Timberwolves, where like you have a guy that could speed it up or get his own shot or like get other guys involved or figure out how to get those guys involved in the best positions. So like um, it's asking a lot of Anthony Edwards to do that and be the number one scorer
Hmm.
team. So no perfect situations there, but I think you could do things in spurts. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
definitely think like a Nickeil Alexander Walker and then like McDaniels like combo. Like
Hmm.
for like a 5 minute stretch when you're trying to give like Conley and Edwards some rest, like that's something that could work. But like you need to think about the other side as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, we can move on. Let me just turn on my lights. It's getting look like a cave in here, but I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
you look like you're gaming over here, bro.
Yeah, BRB. Nah, slightly better. Now it looks more like
Alrighty.
the regular setup. But yeah, uh, Knicks Sixers.
Yep.
I didn't really
That's up
watch the
next.
second game. First game a little bit. Yeah, this is a really spicy first round matchup, and it's just interesting, scary as well with Embiid in that first game, kind of looking like he messed something up. I was like, you are
I
done.
thought he was out for the
Yeah.
rest of the year and like potentially the start of next year when I
Oh
saw that
man.
look, and I was just like,
Yeah.
it looked like he was seeing ghosts when he
Mhm.
was like laying on the floor like that. But I mean, a lot of controversy with this series, especially with the way how it ended.
Oh, the second game, yeah.
Like Nick Nurse, like
Not getting
claimed he called
timeout.
timeout. You can see the video of him calling timeout, but it's not clear if the ref saw it.
Mhm.
Even though he claimed like he told the ref, he's yelled. Excuse me, he was telling to the ref that he called timeout.
Yeah,
And
that
then
he
you
was
have like
scored.
Maxi getting grabbed. But
Two
like,
fouls,
yeah,
supposedly.
even then, like lots of fouls on both sides. Don't want to make it seem like it was one sided, but like in that moment, like that's tough. That's it's like how much of like if you call it that, it's like oh they're not letting the guys play in the crucial moments. It's being
Mhm.
decided by a foul call, and then there's the other end of it where we're seeing now. Where the reality is like they should have called a foul there, but like even then, like credit the Knicks. Like Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, like Brunson. Like Brunson didn't have the greatest of games.
Mhm.
Like he showed up when he needed to count. Miles McBride, like showing up in game one was impressive. Um, it's crazy to me because like I'm like Bogdanovich should have had much more 3 point shooting attempts, but like everybody on their team can shoot. Hardenstein
Mhm.
playing out of his mind,
Yeah.
and in the first game, Mitchell Robinson playing out of his mind. Like there's so many things to like about what the Knicks do, and their offense has been like probably one of the best like Tibbs has had. And that's saying a lot with like Rose and like
Yeah.
Butler on the Bulls and whatnot. But like just the way they structure their offense and the amount of 3 point shooting and having like Villanova in the NBA
Mhm.
basically now with like three of their players coming from
Yeah.
Villanova. I think underrated move, but like these guys are playing with hard earned effort and you love to see it.
No, I would just say like you're comparing this Knicks team to the Bulls team with Derrick Rose, and it's just like I've heard this on a podcast, and it just feels true. It's just like this Knicks team is like the perfect Tom Thibodeau hustle team, the team
Yeah.
he's just always envisioned in his mind, even with those Bulls that were good, right? And they got far in the playoffs, but they weren't the same. They weren't tough enough as these Knicks that have guys that are Josh Hart. Was it Josh Hart or DiVincenzo? One of them in this game played every minute of the game. Like what is that? Like my man didn't get subbed out at all. And like
I want to say that because I mean Tibbs did the same thing on the Bulls with like guys who played
mhm.
like 48 minutes and stuff.
No,
But
yeah, but
like
then like that would happen, and then
it's
Derrick Rose gets injured because he's getting played overplayed too much. Like it's just
oh,
working
I
now.
mean I wouldn't say that he did
Yeah.
do like a jump stop where like he like underestimated the amount of force it would take on his landing. That's how he tore his ACL. But
Okay.
like all that stuff contributes. You're right about that. When you play a
Yeah.
lot of minutes and you don't have enough time to recover, like it adds up. It adds up if you're not treating your body right and whatnot.
Hmm.
I was more saying it from like their offense is a lot more organized, and like
Oh
maybe
yeah.
it's just like the era of like when the Bulls were
Oh,
because it was
definitely.
like fif- n- no, it was like 10 years ago,
2011 and
like 10 to 15 years ago, like
mhm,
and like it was a different style of basketball, and like if we didn't have like a Hardenstein and Robinson that's like multi-dimensional as a big. Like we
yeah.
had Noah who was great, but like if you ask Joakim Noah to play in this like NBA now, it would be
It's
very
tough.
hard to like switch him on Steph Curry, like
Mhm,
Damian Lillard, and then expect him to have like the same defense he did like in the paint. Like same with
mhm,
Taj Gibson and whatnot. So like I just think their off the New York Knicks' offense is much more organized. They're much more controlling on like the offensive rebound area.
mhm,
And that's what stands out to me because like even with the healthy Embiid, I think their offensive rebounding is a problem. Like I don't think we had a guy like Josh Hart on the
no,
Bulls where like he was getting so many offensive rebounds.
at 6'4".
Like he's I c- I considered him a poor man's Jimmy Butler before the season started. I
Yeah,
was like he's a great 3-and-D player, like who's gonna go against the opposing player, but like don't expect much out of him. And he had a bad shooting from 3
mhm,
percentage, like, his field
yeah,
goal percentage from 3 was bad, but, like, he's hit, like, 8 threes so far in the series, and,
mhm,
like, he's always been, like, a great offensive rebounder, one of the best, offensive rebounding guards this year, and
mhm,
he is the best, but, like, it's just the Bulls didn't have that, like, in their
yeah,
Tibbs days, and, like, seeing this roster and, like, how they play in the clutch moments, like, really impressive to watch. Really should be a 1-1 series,
yeah,
but, like, the way they hustle and they don't give up on games
mhm,
is marvelous to watch.
yeah. I think the big thing, like you're saying, is the offensive rebounds. I mean, in that in game 2, it was 12-10, and those last 2 were the ones that kinda won the Knicks the game. So, yeah, I think it's just the biggest thing. No one else is doing this, like getting offensive rebounds, playing the way these Knicks are. So, in that sense, I appreciate it, and I really love it for the game. So, I'm kind of here for the Knicks just because I don't know. Joel Embiid's grown more on me recently because like you've realized that a lot of the reason he hasn't played well in the playoffs is because he's been injured, and it's just
Yeah.
been a problem, and, like, I'm not opposed to him moving on, but I also, like, I'm here for the Knicks, man. Like, I remember the 21 Knicks when they were, like, you had, like, that like, after the game, like, you have, like, a Spider-Man with, like, the Yankees cap. He's got, like, a do-rag on or something, and Tim's, and he's just, like they're, like, all on Trey Young being, like, "Poke Trey Young," or whatever, so, yeah. I'm kinda here
Yeah,
for
when
that
they
kinda
won that
stuff
one
now.
game on the Knicks, they acted like they won the NBA finals. Like,
Yeah.
this city is like they're just praying this team, like, can make it close to the NBA finals and get to the NBA finals right now.
Yeah.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
from, like, the 76ers perspective, like, Maxey and Embiid have been, like, great.
Mhm.
Tobias Harris has been good, but, like, there's not much there's not been much more than that, and, like,
Yeah.
you would hope for you would hope for more. Like, Batum has been solid, like, he
He was in
keeps
that playing game, he was
yeah,
crazy.
in the playing game, he was great, but, like, and Lowry's been out of this world too, like, compared to, like, how he played during the season, but, like, I don't know, man. They're missing something,
Yeah.
n and maybe it's, like, an Embiid, like, Embiid's athleticism, and that might be the difference in their defense,
Mhm.
but, like, they're missing something to, like, to deter the Knicks, and, like, on if they don't hold serve at home, they're obviously getting swept, but, like, they need to win their home games to try and have a chance and then be consistent because right now they've proven the Mecca is a tough place to try and win in the clutch. They can't get into
Yeah.
a brawl with the Knicks in this home stadium. That's very tough for the team.
Yeah, no, I think the Sixers can do something. I mean, Joel Embiid says they're gonna win the series, but it's just especially without home court advantage, and it's just so tough. MSG is different, and the way like you've heard like the crowd popping, like it's a different level, and I'm excited. I'm excited for these Knicks. I'm excited for the Sixers. This is another, like we said, another good series. So it's gonna be good.
Oh wow. Caleb
So
Martin just like spiked that ball out of nowhere.
yeah,
Miami still holding
back in
serve.
the
They're up
zone.
by 3. Yeah. Rotate Brown 3. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Airbag.
Alrighty, we'll just move on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Knicks are playing well right now. Not much more to say. I'm gonna
Mhm.
jump to the Cavaliers and the Magic. We're kind of running on an hour here, so I want to make sure
Yeah.
we cover the last two games with attention and needs. Long story short, I think the Magic are a year away.
Mhm.
The Jalen Suggs injury sucked. That
Yeah.
was like crazy. But I think the Cavaliers are too much for this team right now. Like, pa- Paulo's been great. The Wagners have been great. But like, it's they don't have the experience yet, and it's showing. And I think like the Cavaliers are showing like what a year difference makes for them too. Like
Yeah.
Garland's been a better player because of Mitchell. Like Mitchell's
Mhm.
been playing well. Like Jarrett Allen has been like a monster on the boards. I think he might have like 35 rebounds over the past two
Yeah, he's
games.
balling.
He's been ridiculous, and that's been like a big difference in the game to me. And yeah, I mean, I see the Cavaliers controlling this throughout, despite like the Magic having like great defense like throughout the regular season. I just think the Cavs are too much.
No, yeah. I would say I'm kind of proud of this Cavs team after kind of going out really sorry, looking really sorry last year. Even that quote from Jared Allen himself being like the lights are too bright. They're like obviously this is their chance, right? Like I don't want to say we all expected them to be winning the series, but I mean, if they weren't gonna win, like look good in this series, it was not gonna be a good summer for
They're
them.
like a classic like team on the hot seat, coach on the hot seat type team.
Yeah, so I'm happy for them, and especially I was kind of worried because of how Donovan Mitchell wasn't 100% coming into the series. Uh like you they weren't playing good basketball before this, getting
Yeah.
into the playoffs, and so they dipped. I mean, they were the second seed at one point, so
Yep.
to drop all the way to four is kind of tough. But I mean, they're still in it. I think they can. I think they can finish this out. I don't know if they're gonna finish out in Orlando. I think they can steal a game. I don't know if they're gonna steal both, but they just look like a meaner team right now. They want it a little bit more, and I mean, makes sense. This is the Magic's first time in this situation, their first playoff game, I think,
Right.
and like since 2019, 2020, they played Giannis in the bubble. I remember that. So yeah, it's been a
Wow.
while for them, 4 years. So
Yeah, I mean, the Magic have a lot of great guards, but like
mhm.
it's against this team, like they don't have a great answer for like Mobley. They
No,
tried to
they
get
did.
physical with this Cavs team, and like see a lot of fights breaking out like
Oh yeah,
between
a lot of
Okoro and
scrappiness.
Wagner, and like
Yeah,
it's but like they don't have the efficiency and like offense yet to like really get going. They're a couple pieces away. I wouldn't know what those pieces are, but I feel like you need to add a star player there. Like one more star player, and then I think it's but like one a guy that can play on both ends of the field. I don't
mhm.
know the answer. Like honestly, there's some growth that needs to happen, but it's like
Well, yeah, I think I think you need just
they're a very tough team to figure out how to build from there.
no, definitely. I mean, the main thing for them, they're a great defense. Their offense is just terrible. So the
Other
point
than
guard,
Paulo, like
yeah, a
Paulo's been
point guard that
great,
could
but
shoot would be
yeah.
great. Someone
Mhm.
to get Paolo in the pick and roll with, that would be great. Doesn't necessarily have to be a clamped down defender because you got Jalen Suggs, you have Cole Anthony, you have Markel Fultz, you have three guards right there that are reasonable defenders, some better than others, obviously, and you have Gary Harris. So you're pretty deep on like reasonable defenders. Maybe go out and get a point guard that might not be able to defend as well, but will light up, will just perk up your offense, which is what they really need right now. It's looking
Mhm.
rough.
Yeah. But what's tough is like where they're gonna get that point guard from. Like
Yeah,
they might have to like the only reasonable guy I'd probably see them get is like DeJounte Murray or like Trey Young
I was gonna say that too, just with everything going on.
in
Uh,
Atlanta. Like
yeah, I'm down for Trayon to go there. That'd be fun. Then he would just be a point guard, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to see Trey Ball him holding the ball all the time anymore.
and like they give him a lot of flexibility too. Like
hmm
with the guard that they have. Like um I was hoping Fultz could be that player, like with a
Yeah,
change of scenery, but like
that'd be nice.
well, like he just had a rough start to his career, and it's like he's just getting back to being a functional player, and it's like it's it's hard to see people get that what you hope you would get from the number 2 pick with this team.
Hmm. Yeah, man. It's kind
Alrighty,
of wild for him.
Cavs in control of this one. Let's talk Pacers Bucks because first half of game 1 and even first quarter, like obviously those of you who have listened to this podcast for a long time know Dame is my favorite player. I love talking about Dame. I think he's one of the most like underrated shooters in this generation. Like, I think he's like the one B to Steph Curry's one A as far as like shooting goes.
It's pretty
Like,
valid.
I'm not gonna say he's a better shooter than Steph Curry,
No,
but
that
like
that is not valid.
there you go. That's why I didn't say it. But like he has like one of the best range in the league. Obviously, like in like somewhat close to Steph Curry's tier.
Yeah.
Um, but you saw why he's such a dangerous guy to go one on one with,
Hmm.
and ever since he dropped 35 in game one, with I think like six threes
Yeah, he was
in game
stingy.
one, and then like 15 points in the first quarter. Like the Pacers like had somebody guard him full court off ball. Like it was mostly like Andrew Nemhard
Yeah.
for a large amount of time. But like they were like, we can't let this guy score anymore. And then like he ended up staying at 35 because like they just kept getting denied and doubled every time. So like um the Bucks proved in game one they can win without Dame. But I think
Or without Giannis.
they did I mean, without Dame in the picture scoring because they
Oh, I
relied
see,
on
I
guys
see.
like Portis, like Middleton, like
Hmm.
Lopez, like they would all take their turns and get the point contributions elsewhere. That was kind of my
Oh,
point with
okay.
that. But
I see what
yes,
you mean.
without Giannis too, um, it's kind of like it's kind of having me fantasize what happens when Giannis comes back and is fully healthy.
Yeah.
But on the other flip side to that, like the Bucks don't have an answer for Pascal Siakam. And it
Gee.
got
Yeah.
overlooked like game one because like Dame
They
went off
won.
in
Yeah.
one half. But like Siakam had like 34
No, he
like
had
the whole
a
game. And like he just kept bringing his team back in it. And like obviously it helped them like in game two when they have ultimately won. I didn't see the second half or that game for that matter.
mhm.
Because I was watching what other game was that? I think I was watching the
Mavs.
Bulls and the Suns instead,
Yeah.
because it went around similar times. But like it's um, Pascal Siakam's a problem. The Bucks don't really have a great answer for. Like
Mhm.
it's a lot to ask Bobby Portis to try and guard Siakam one on one. Like
Yeah.
Portis is a tough defender, but like it's just like again the different body
Siakam's
types
different.
is not like it doesn't make it an ideal matchup.
Mhm. Yeah, and some of the shots he's shooting are these, like, tough contested mid-range shots that he's just draining, and that's if that's how he's gonna score 36 points one night, that's fine, but he's gonna keep doing that to you, and the Bucks just don't have the defense, and I think the biggest thing for them is, like, I've read around that, like, Giannis is still not, like, fully scrimmaging right now, something like that, or that he's not as far ahead as they would've liked, and it's just scary because you just lost to the Pacers last night, showing a terrible effort in at home. You have Tyrese Halliburton saying that the crowd there in Milwaukee looked like a regular season game. Like that's kind of an insult, man. And if like I don't know, you can't. These are just things that kind of can't happen. Like you need to kind of lock in. And I think the Pacers have a lot of momentum going back, just like the Mavs do going back home. And just it just doesn't feel like the Bucks can stop a good Pacers offensive game without scoring the lights out themselves. So I think
Wow,
that's gonna be the
Miami
biggest thing.
just took a 10-point lead 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Oh man, this game
Jovic
the game to
played
watch.
out of his mind on that defensive possession.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin with a
What a
great finish.
what a
Kevin Love like
lay. The
yelling.
height. What do they
It's
need
just
for
insane.
real? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Miami could steal that one.
This is
But
crazy.
I mean, for the Bucks, this is their test. I mean,
Mm,
you don't have Giannis. What are you gonna do about it?
yeah.
And they should be in firmly in control of this series, like given their experience on that roster.
Hmm.
But
They're not
Pacers are not going away. They had one of the most efficient. I meant to
affection.
say efficient offenses there.
I see.
Kind of
That makes
mixed
sense.
up those words for a bit.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, I mean, Pacers are going to be a hard offense to stop because they have so many options like
Mhm.
to go to, like Miles Turner and like Siakam or guys that can shoot from three, but like do damage in the paint and
Yeah.
defensively. Then you got Tyrese Halliburton, budding star, like first ever playoff series, like, and they don't have like they just don't have the personnel to match properly up with Halliburton and Siakam, the two of them. Like
Mhm.
Siakam's definitely a problem because like you can't ask Beverly to guard him. And you can't
Mhm.
ask Beverly to really guard Halliburton either because like Beverly will guard the best offensive players, but like Halliburton's like well, like he could just like post him up or like take him on
Mhm.
the dribble, and like Beverly cannot. He can't do anything
Yeah.
with his traits from there.
With his
So
dark magic.
asking a lot, and like and Dame is like you have to really get him to play. He can play defense, but
Mhm.
like
He needs to lock in.
and there's times where he's been like a willing defender, but then like ask him to lock in for 48 minutes is like the same problem you have with Luca,
Mhm.
and
I was gonna say
that's
that too.
it's tough. It really is tough. So like um maybe Jay Crowder is the solution here. Like he
Maybe.
can provide solid defense and whatnot, and then it's just a question of like how you trying to build around like Dame, Beverly, like Lopez and Portis. Like who's that going to be
Mhm.
that wing defender that you can use as like an all-purpose type guy?
Yeah. I mean, J. Crowder's a good option, but he's also just I feel like he's like 50 million years old. Like seems really old to me, and that could just be like because I've seen him on so many teams. Like he's just been passed around the league to get to conference finals and finals and such. But yeah, I don't know. It's looking tough for the
I mean, for
Bucks.
a playoff series, you're not really worried about age too much, right? Because
That's
like
true.
Dame is over
It's
30.
more of a sprint.
Lopez, the way he changed his game, like he feels like he's
God,
45 years old. Like
I'm never.
they have a lot of veterans on that team,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I would probably lean on your veterans and experience here, because you
Mhm.
do have the shooting in Dame. I think he proved that. You do have
Yeah.
the defense in Portis and like Lopez,
Lopez.
like, but not specifically against like Siakam and like Halliburton. So it's like kind of like
No. Yeah.
you're trying to like ask an orange to match a banana here, and it's just like
Mhm.
not. It's not a perfect fit.
Yeah. Uh, I'll never stop saying and stop praising how Brooke Lopez changed his game because, geez, man, like no one, you tell me 10 years ago, Brooke Lopez in 10 years is gonna just wet threes from like 3 feet away from the 3 point line. I was not gonna believe you.
Yeah, one of the most like dangerous post up games for
Yeah, like
like the New Jersey Nets.
yeah,
It's
no,
just
it's different Brooke, and that like I love that Brooke. It was a great Brooke, but now we have Splash Mountain, and that is really what it's all about.
my goodness, Celtics are all over the place here. Okay, um, I'm gonna try and digest this last quarter and then the
Yeah,
game coming up between the Thunder and the Pelicans. Hope you guys listen. This is a long episode, but
yeah,
we thought it was important to cover all 8 teams. We are in playoff season now, so like there's a lot of important games to take into account and like
hmm,
capture the story as it happens. So we thank you guys for watching us.
yeah.
Um,
Thanks.
Follow us on our Instagram. Diego knows what to do.
I just
Oh, you
really
almost had it on the
flopped.
money.
I'm so mid.
Amon.a.mission. That's our Instagram handle. Follow us on YouTube at Amon a Mission. 3 words there. Follow, like, subscribe, and see you guys later.
So yeah.